Hi, it's Gerald Oginski. I just finished reading a news report in the paper about a federal program that is designed to give money to 5 New York metropolitan hospitals to try and reduce malpractice. The hospitals involved are Beth Israel Medical Center in Manhattan, Mount Sinai Medical Center in Uptown Manhattan, Maimonides Medical Center in Brooklyn, and Montefiore Medical Center in the Bronx. Now, those hospitals with this money are designed to try and reduce errors in obstetrical malpractice. Now, that's very commendable. The 5th hospital, New York Presbyterian Hospital, is going to focus on the prevention of surgical errors. Now, it's great that the federal program is designed to give money to these hospitals to entice them to try and reduce these medical errors. But here's my question. Why is the federal government spending $3 million to do something that these hospitals and doctors should be doing anyway as part of their risk management services? Their whole goal is to treat patients in accordance with good and accepted standards. So why do they need any type of incentive to try and get the doctors and staff to reduce these medical errors? That doesn't make sense, and the program, at least the news report that I read in the paper, doesn't focus on that. So what does this program really do? They're trying to identify problem areas, improve communication, and once they recognize that there have been medical errors or mistakes, their goal is to try and nip it in the bud, to try and get early settlements, to try and take responsibility for their actions, and again, this is all very commendable, and to try and move the process along very quickly so that there's no need for a full-blown trial that takes years and years. Now, here's my question. Why do these hospitals need federal money to participate in a federal program to get all this done? Can't they just do it on their own? In other words, why shouldn't they be doing this? The communication between patient and doctor should be there no matter what. If there is a medical error or mistake, why can't the doctor or staff member come to the family and say, look, I'm so sorry, we made a mistake. This is what we're going to try and do to fix the problem. This was not going to happen again. Why isn't that done? The news report says that this program is designed to identify potential cases and to try and get prompt, quick settlements without the need for a full-blown trial. What it doesn't address is whether or not they're trying to avoid the attorneys as someone who's going to assist and advise the client to be present and to give them proper advice. You know, many years ago, a lot of the car insurance companies, when someone was involved in a car accident, they would get on the phone with the person who was injured and say, hey, I'm going to give you cold, hard cash right now to settle your case. And what would they do? They would lowball the injured victim and entice them with the fact that they're going to send them cash right now to try and settle the case. The problem was that many of those people were not familiar with how settlements worked. They were not familiar with the fact that they are going to have permanent injury, or that they're going to need medical care for the future or for the rest of their lives. So what would happen was that these people would quickly agree to a settlement because the insurance company knew that if these people were uneducated about the process, they were much more likely to get a quick settlement. Now, this particular federal program doesn't address that issue, and I didn't see that. But again, if that's what it's designed to do, then how are the injured victims going to know the true value of their case? How are they going to know whether these injuries are significant or permanent? And how will they know what similar cases have resolved for? The program is designed to have judicial mediators, which means judges who have retired who are now trying to help families receive compensation because of medical errors and mistakes from these various hospitals. So again, in whose best interest is the judicial mediator working? Is it on behalf of the people who are paying him, which might be the federal government? Is it the hospital? It's clearly not on behalf of the injured victim, because really, who's standing up and speaking for the injured victim to try and obtain the maximum compensation? We don't know that yet, at least not from these reports. And that's it for today's video tip about this new federal program designed to try and reduce medical errors. While laudable and commendable, I think it needs a little bit more in-depth investigation. I'm Gerald Oginski here in New York. Thanks for watching.